Buonasera, signore, buonasera. Come bello stare a Napoli e sognare. Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight. Buona Sera, Charles Marsala.
Buona Sera, Lena. Buona Sera. What a beautiful day. Spring is here.
Yes, and it's great to see you today.
Likewise, I love seeing you, and I'm excited about we got our content for the show. You know, today, Lena, we should talk about the fact that we have this federation of states. We've got about 20 clubs in the state of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and a little bit of outreach as well in Texas that we try to work together so we don't duplicate things. Like in March, big Italian month. So the federation is to make sure people don't duplicate on the same weekend. We don't want to have competing events in these clubs. We want to help promote each other. We also have other times where there's causes that we're involved in together that we need to know about. So it's a great idea, this federation, is people have ideas about something that they want to do specific to Italians, we can help them with that program.
So you're also actually providing help and assistance to the organizations to work, everybody working together.
Absolutely. Somebody just called me about forming an Irish and Italian singles dining club, and we're going to help put that together.
Is there a website or where people can see everything that's happening and going on and be able to participate in events?
We have two websites. There's actually the Federation site is AI for Italian American, FED for Federation, AIFED.org. And then I created a blog called SiciliJournal.com where I write a little bit more about it. Facebook has been great. We have really 3 Facebook pages. There's the Italians of New Orleans, there's Italians of Louisiana, and our Facebook page, American Italian and Sicilians of the South. So Facebook is a great way to know of what events are coming up.
Okay, great, Charles. So Charles, today my background is very colorful and busy, and I am in Palermo at a Palermo market. And I found that there's 4 major historic markets in Palermo: the Borgo Vecchio, Capo, Ballaro, and La Vucciria. And La Vucciria translates as voices or hubbub, which we hear the vendors calling out their specials and buyers haggling as they've done for centuries. So those are 4 of the most historic ones, but there's many, many, many markets like this, open air markets like this. And I thought maybe you probably know about, you know, when the immigrants came to New Orleans, and were they in the French market like this? I mean, did they start this? Did they bring this over here?
That's what their success was. They started growing there, and even on the plantations, you know, and you can see behind me is Homa's house. In this area, they came over, they were cutting sugar cane or cotton, and they often would go to the plantation owner and say, listen, you got this land over here you're not using. You mind if I grow my own vegetable garden? So they cut down their overhead by growing their own vegetables. But in New Orleans, right there in the French market, and it still is now a bazaar where you have shops and stuff that's open air. There is a image there with Italian looking people showing that when it was really the French market for a farmer's market. And that's what we did. You know, we and you can see it. And we also, though, became creative where we went down to Honduras and brought in bananas and other things. So we were bringing in fruits that we weren't growing here. And yes, I don't know if it looked as colorful as where in Palermo, or Florence, but that's what our mark was.
So Charles, I haven't checked this out today.
Okay.
You know, here in New Orleans, we usually have the 2 parades. We've got the Irish parade, the Irish and Italian parade, and then of course the Italian parade. So we're all celebrating at the same time. And, you know, Irish, it's always luck of the Irish, and the Irish are lucky with their clovers and their pots of gold at the end of the rainbow. But Italians are also very lucky. So I thought I'd point that out today. Here's why we're lucky. Here's 3 reasons. Italians create. Since the Roman times, artisans have been creating magnificent jewelry, textiles, and setting fashion trends around the world, making Italy the fashion and style capital of the world. And lucky people know how to create unique businesses that stand the test of time. So we're creative. Number 2, Italians don't copy, they innovate. The Italians never copy. They have always paved their own way, from inventing opera to scientific discoveries. The Italians never looked around to see what other people were doing. Instead, they just created and invented their own way of living and doing things. And luck favors the bold, and Italians love being bold.
We do. There's no doubt. Nothing like a red Ferrari to be bold.
Yes. And number 3, forget about it. Forget about it. The Italians are great at relaxing. They know if they work quietly and patiently, their luck will always change. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day. We have our superstitions.
Yes.
But I found a few that I thought were kind of interesting. And the first one is the number 13. And I've always had 13 as a lucky number, but I didn't realize that the number 13 is very lucky in Italy, especially in gambling.
Gambling?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And although it's a lucky number, you're not going to find a table seating 13 people at any restaurant in Italy, as it's considered a bad omen. So it's lucky, but not at a table.
You never eat with 13 people.
You got to get another person there or kick someone out.
I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
I'm in my parents' house in Monroe, Louisiana. All right.
Yeah.
So, Lena, this is my dad's high school football jersey. You can see it looks nothing more than like a sweatshirt, but his number was 13. And he did a great job on the line as a 110-pound man or high school student 50 years ago, maybe 60 now, protecting the quarterback. So maybe 13 is a lucky number.
Yes, indeed, Charles.
I never knew about that. So thank you for finding about number 13.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And, I have these little charms. I got my Dolce & Gabbana, and there's a 13. And I always thought, oh, that's my lucky number. I wonder why that's on there. Wow. So now I'm wearing it because I didn't realize it was a thing. So here's another thing. Bread in Italy is sacred and considered a symbol of life. So it must always be placed facing up and never upside down. And also, if you want to attract bad luck, just stick a knife into the bread. So never put the knife in the bread, and it has to always be facing up. Did you know this?
I did not. But now I know that I do eat a lot of bread. I'll pay a lot more attention to how I do that day because that affects the rest of the day, I guess. I know that bread, St. Joseph bread, you save to throw out during the storm so it'll go away. So there are some things about bread that I did know about. Oh,
cool. So now we know about the evil eye and the malocchio and the cornicello, but the malocchio is bad energy that's brought upon you by jealousy or envy from another person. So to tell if you have the malocchio, the maloics, drop olive oil into a bowl of water, and if it forms one large drop, you have the malocchio. And you better wear your Italian good luck charms. I didn't know that.
I think that our ancestors have a lot of things we need to be paying attention to.
So there you go. There's some superstitions and how to be lucky if you're Italian, which I guess we are just lucky.
We are. We're totally lucky. That's great, Lena.
All right, Charles, it's time for Charles Celebrates Culture.
Yes.
So, Charles, where are you? I know you're on the road somewhere. Where are you today?
In Lake Village, Arkansas, which is just across the border from Louisiana into Arkansas on the Mississippi River. And they fed 2,000 people in a drive-through spaghetti dinner with dessert, salad, and bread.
2,000?
2,000.
Oh, my God.
Everybody got 2 homemade meatballs and the noodles. They've been doing this for 111 years, Lena. But because of COVID this year, they had to do it as a drive-through. And these people adapted because, when the churches let out, there would be a rush of cars there to get their drive-through, and then it'd be a lull. They had a time that the pasta was not soggy, it was crisp. It was amazing watching the assembly line get these orders delivered to these people as they waited in line. So it was really...
This was at Sunnyside
Plantation, and they have a great story there of things that they overcome, like which some of them had a really tough time, but they persevered, and they made it. And now the guy that's head of it is a doctor. He's an eye doctor, and many of them I talked to, some of them now own 600 acres in their family, some own more than that. So these guys looked at the cards they were dealt and said, okay, this isn't working, this is. What do we do to make it work? Some left and went up towards Little Rock, a little north of there, called Tawny Town, off to Henry de Tonti, who was an explorer. And they're growing winery, and they have a wine festival up there. So hopefully, maybe next day, soon you'll have me on the road in Tawny Town.
They need to get together so they have the wine and the spaghetti.
Yeah, you're right. That would be, they need to ship some of the wine in. I'll let them know that's a good idea.
Charles, so how long, how many hours did this go on to feed 2,000 people in a drive-through?
It ends at 1 o'clock firm. And they actually had people showing up, I think, as early as 7 o'clock in the morning to pick up the spaghetti. And when I was there, they know that it ends if they advertise it ends at 1, and sure enough, there were 2 or 3 cars that pulled up. People still want spaghetti at 1:15. But they was all gone, and they really get rolling around 10. His church, the 9 o'clock mass ends at about 10. So as soon as 10 o'clock, you start seeing the churches end, and they are right across the river from Greenville, Mississippi. So people are driving from the Mississippi into Arkansas to pick up the deals. One person bought 40 dishes, Lena.
Wow. And Charles, why did they start this feeding spaghetti and 2 meatballs to everyone? How did that?
The fundraiser, it's $12 a plate. The ladies of the altar started this for the church. And today they still do it as a fundraiser for the church, to help the church out with whatever needs, statues or anything else that the church needs for its capital equipment. So they do this every year to raise money to take care of the church. And the church, it reminds me of St. Louis Cathedral. It's much smaller. Yeah. But the front doors, it'd be like if you move St. Louis Cathedral to Jackson Square, you walk out the front doors, you were about 50 feet from this beautiful lake.
Wow.
So called Our Lady of the Lake Church, and it's really fitting because if you go too far, you're going to be in the lake.
That's pretty awesome, Charles.
So we got a video we're doing about this.
Yeah.
And it'll be on our sequel when we do the Italian documentary. We're going to do just a half-hour show on the 1890s because that was a decade of really challenging times for the immigrants coming into the South.
In 1895, the first wave of Italians came in. Over 500 Italians were settled here in little houses on the plantation called Sunnyside. Shortly thereafter, roughly a year later, another wave came in. And we had, after 2 years, in 1897, we had 1,000 settlers right here in Lake Village. And so what we're doing here today is that the tradition, which began in 1896, of serving pasta and spaghetti dinners and meatballs to the community, began in 1896 at St. Anthony's Church right here in Lake Village, Arkansas. In roughly 1910, St. Anthony's Church merged with Our Lady of the Lake Catholic Church. And with that merger, this became known as Our Lady of the Lake Parish Annual Spaghetti Dinner. So that's why we say this began 111 years ago. So everything that is made here, the pasta from scratch, the meatballs from scratch, our fabulous lemon desserts, lemon cake desserts are amazing. Our salads, it is an amazing dinner and tradition. We have people come from all over the South for this day. And today we had a sellout again. No pasta left, no salads left, no desserts, no meatballs. It's all gone. And it's just a great testament to the tradition here. We thank God for His great providence for this Italian community and the fact that it is still going strong all these years. And we have people from age 6 years old to 94 years old that volunteered in making of this pasta. I had so many veterans slapping my hand, telling me I was doing it wrong, that I got to roll the meatballs better, that the kneading of the breads were done incorrectly. So we have the greatest quality control, and you can bet that the people who ate here were fully satisfied.
Anthony, that is great, and I love what you guys are doing to keep your heritage alive. I want to thank you for being on the show. And if someone wants to know more, is there a website?
Yes, there is. That website is theitaliansofsunnyside.org.
Anthony, I was here for the pasta feed this year, and it is fabulous. I really want to encourage anybody and come enjoy a really great Italian heritage. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Charles. Remember, it's the first Sunday in March every year.
And stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of Celebrating Culture.
We will have about a 7 to 10 minute episode segment in our episode on the 1890s about just Sunnyside Plantation and how these people adapted to the peonage, to the malaria, to the other issues they were facing to go ahead and make it.
That's fantastic. And this will be on your On News channel?
On News, and as you know, we're also on WLAE TV on Sundays at 9.
Right.
And we're on the Louisiana Film Channel. So we stream. So anybody can watch it around the world. We're part of the Louisiana Film Channel, and they've actually asked us to apply to be featured. So we might get that nod to be featured on the film channel.
That's great, Charles.
Yeah, we're having fun. You know, we're going to become the Italian Ken Burns, Lena.
You got to do it. You are that.
Yeah, we're making it happen, you know.
On News spent 5 years touring Louisiana. We've interviewed countless numbers of people. The people that make it happen, that put on Mardi Gras, the chefs, the artists, the backbone of Louisiana. We've taken those interviews and made a show called Celebrating Culture. But we've also taken those interviews and put them in a tour app, New Orleans Insider Tours. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode. Once you have the app downloaded, you'll have access to putting together the best game plan to experience in Louisiana. You can start with Little Palermo, which is 50 points of interest on the Italian community, and then go to Statue Stories and Spirits, over 150 stops in the French Quarter and CBD. Where to dine in New Orleans, what rooftop bars give you the best view, how to see the Gulf of Mexico from the coastal towns, driving up to the Bonnie and Clyde Museum near Shreveport, or up to Vicksburg. New Orleans and Louisiana are must-see for everyone, and there's so much to see. So we hope you enjoy it, and as we say here, let the good times roll.
I love it, Charles, and I love your culture segments. Yay!
Thank you. I'm having fun. You know, I'm on the road, and it's a great, you know, I actually ate at a little Italian restaurant Sunday night in Leland, Mississippi, which I'll say is the home of where the Muppets got started. So this restaurant opened in 1948, and it's called Lippo's. So if you're in Leland and you're driving through and you want to see the Muppet Museum, stop at Lippo's for Italian food.
Hey, that's cool, Charles. All right, Charles, we are going to head into our La Musica segment. We're going to watch video today of the Assunto family, and they are one of New Orleans' great jazz combos. They started as the Dukes of Dixieland, the original Dukes of Dixieland. I didn't know that, in the late 1940s, correct?
Correct, and it was the two sons, and the dad was even part of the band. They were the first band to record in stereo because they were with RCA at the time. Louis Armstrong played with them, which was great to show how accomplished they were, that he thought enough to play with them.
Absolutely.
So they got this tribute group going, and now the granddaughter sings for the band.
Yeah, and the original band had the brothers, Frank Assunto, who played trumpet, Fred Assunto, who played the trombone, and their father, Papa Jack Assunto, who played both trombone and banjo. And they've all played together. So it's 5 generations of this family making music in New Orleans. And now the Frank's son, Dino Assunto, he manages this current group, which is called the Assunto Dukes.
Yes, absolutely. It's great. It's just great to see the heritage continue. And she's really passionate. And Dino's, he's really passionate about his family as well. It's a great story.
It is a great story. And the generations of the family being passed down in music and continuing is wonderful.
I'm glad that, you know, it's also neat that you're featuring them because you're bringing out some great New Orleans talent that's Italian, and it's just neat to see that. So we didn't know about these guys until about 2 months ago, And now we're realizing that they've been on local TV. They're getting going. They've only been together for a few years as this tribute band, but they are quickly growing with their audience and their followers.
That's fantastic. And we're going to watch a little bit of their performance right now. I just love that music. That music makes me feel like New Orleans.
It is so New Orleans, and New Orleans is, as we like to say, the birthplace of jazz. There might be some other people that do it, but New Orleans is where you know for jazz. You know, that's us.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow them. They are the Assunto Dukes, a Dixieland tribute. And here is their website. And you can also follow them on YouTube and Facebook.
Great. And you can hear them live March 20th at the Great River Road Museum, which is right next to Homer's House and Gardens.
Charles, your background, that's where it is, right?
That is the Homer's House. And listen, Kevin Kelly bought this place about 15 years ago. He is telling the story of Louisiana history from the Indians to in the 1600s to roughly 1900, the steamboat era, which was the idea of this museum. So when you go there, there are a lot of great exhibits. The Conti Wax Museum is now there. I mean, there's so much stuff to see and do here. The gardens are fabulous. The food is amazing. The restaurant is next to this. And they actually filmed the movie The Green Book there. I mean, it's just
yeah,
it's great.
Great, Charles.
Yes, Lena. Thank you.
Yes, so we had a great time today. We're so glad to know that you are watching our show and enjoying it. And if you'd like to get episodes delivered to you weekly to your inbox, just please sign up at lenaprima.com and click the Buona Sera, Louisiana tab. And you can watch us on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you, Charles. You're the best.
Lena, no, I'm just think good things happen. I mean, like just meeting you, it's just wonderful being Italian and having the luck, like you said.
Yes,
you know,
the luck of the Italians.
Wearing a number 13.
Yeah, I got my number 13. All right, Charles. Ciao, ciao,
Lena.
Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buona sera, signore, kiss me goodnight.
Hi, I'm Lena Prima. My music is available on Amazon and iTunes, also BasonStreetRecords.com and LenaPrima.com. Please like my Facebook page, Lena Prima Official, and follow me on Instagram at Lena Prima. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lena Prima. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Ciao. Welcome to the Italian Piazza in New Orleans, Louisiana. And right next door is the American Italian Cultural Center, which hosts numerous events throughout the year and is a great place to read about the Italian history. When you subscribe to our news, you'll get updated on all the videos we're making as far as the celebrities that come into New Orleans to talk about Italian culture, the parties, the events, what's going on. It's just a great way to learn about Italian history, the values, and what makes Italian being fun. Di Parlare Italiano. Our New Orleans Insider Tour app features a Statue, Stories, and Spirits tour. It's a great way to learn about New Orleans. There are over 150 markers that all have a little story. Here, we're at the market of Edward Wisner, a man who was told to come to Louisiana to improve his health. He invented a pump and drained over 30,000 acres of land. The royalties of gas and oil now go to New Orleans, Tulane, LSU, and the Salvation Army. We have a lot of great stories in our app that'll add to your enjoyment and appreciation of New Orleans. It's simple to use with GPS, text, photos, and video.